lots of playoff implications. So
Yeah, I feel like this year's been it's pretty interesting how many teams can still get into the playoffs. You know.
yeah, well, yeah, they expanded it, so now more teams have more of a shot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and especially in the AFC, man. Like, there's
yeah,
what, 5 teams that are right on the bubble? Like, here, I gotta
right,
look at the standings just to remind myself because I was looking at it. It's like, man, this is crazy going into week 17. Like, how much variance there is. Oh, conference. Like, the conference view, dude. Can we have it? Yeah, like, man, okay, so Titans, Dolphins, Ravens, Browns, and Colts are all 10-5. Five, ten,
yeah.
and 5 teams. Like,
And
any
I think
one
four of
of
them
them,
can go in, and one's out, right, or something like that.
one's out, but it can be any of them.
It really
Yeah,
could be. It could be any of them.
yeah,
Anyone, none of those
yeah,
5 teams are for sure in the playoff.
yeah.
So I think that's pretty crazy. And that includes the Titans, who are currently leading their division but are tied in record with the Colts. Like, the
Yeah.
Titans could not only lose the division, but they could maybe not get the wild card.
Yeah, it's not.
Also, just the records in the AFC are impressive. Like, man,
Yeah,
there's, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 8 teams in the AFC that have 10 or more wins going into Week 17.
yeah. I think it's without question that the AFC is definitely better this year than the NFC, but top to bottom. But yeah, man.
I'd have to agree. Okay, and Thomas, I hope you're aware, dude. Our bet is not decided until Week 17, man.
This is a good bet, dude.
It is. The Rams, if the Rams lose to the Cardinals and the Bears beat the Packers, then the Rams will miss the playoffs.
But
Two very possible things.
are they very possible though? I just don't know if I can see. Anything's possible in the NFL. But the way the Packers are looking, I don't think they will lose to the Bears.
Here's the thing, though: the Packers have the #1 seed clinched.
Yep, that's
so
what I was gonna
rest
say.
the starters, which to me I don't think is a good idea because I mean I guess it's the Bears and they're not scared of them, but I'm like I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to keep the Bears out of the playoffs if I'm the Packers, just But
That's the only thing, because I don't know. I think they will rest Aaron Rodgers. If just my gut feeling says they will. And if that's the case, man, it's very possible the Bears get that win. And Cardinals versus Rams, Jared Goff is out. He just got surgery on his broken thumb. So that's looking murky. Suddenly it feels like a coin flip now.
it really is. Like, yeah, I was like, oh, well, Parker's getting Thomas that bottomless reaper afloat, but now I'm like, dang, the NFC West is crazy.
Here's one thing that I will admit to Parker that I'm kind of agreeing with more. Jared Goff. I don't know. It's just
sucks.
No. I mean, it's weird because I've seen him in games, in playoffs, in Super Bowls, and it's like he can compete, but at the same time, like this weekend versus the Seahawks, sure, his thumb hurt for the last, 20 minutes of game time and stuff like that. But one thing I noticed a couple weeks ago, but now I've been paying attention to it more with his play, he is like a pansy. He is scared to get hit. I think he's quicker to throw the ball away than any quarterback I've ever seen. I don't know. I really feel like Jared Goff is like a little sissy baby that somehow is an NFL quarterback. Because, I mean, sure, he hurt his thumb and tried to pop it back. Like, yeah, that's cool. That's pretty tough. But his play style is like, oh, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Oh, got to get rid of the ball. Like, he will.
Man.
Like, there was one play this weekend where I can't even remember. What was their backup running back's name? The one that went out halfway through the game, was it Jefferson?
They have the wide receiver Justin Jefferson. I don't remember the name of the running back. Which one you're talking about right now?
I don't know.
I didn't see the game.
Anyway, like there was, and I guess this happens a lot, but it's just like if it fits the, I guess the story I'm trying to write here. Like, Jared Goff was going to get tackled, like totally sacked. This running back is like being tackled right now, and he just chucks it right at the running back. Like, just pitches the ball to him so that guy could get drilled instead of him. And it's like, that was going nowhere. It wasn't even past the line of scrimmage. He was already halfway to the ground. But I don't know. I still think Jared Goff is capable of a lot, but yeah, I kind of agree with you. Jared Goff kind of sucks a lot of the time.
Goff does kind of suck. Guys, the Rams gave the Jets their first win of the season. I mean,
and dude, now the Jets are friggin' red hot, baby.
They beat the Rams. They got momentum from that. I mean, come on. The Rams, they are the run game and their defense, and it covers up the issues with Jared Goff, makes him look not as bad on paper as he is, but he throws short yardage, safe passes, and they run the ball a heck of a lot. And like Thomas said, he is quick to dump the ball off, throw it out of bounds if the play is not looking great. Again, that's been my holdup on the Rams, and even if they do make the playoffs, especially obviously with Jared Goff likely to miss, he probably won't play in the playoffs, I assume, after surgery on his thumb. But I don't expect them to go far even if they make it, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I don't know. That defense is really scary. They have a really, really good defense. But
yeah. And I would feel really good about the Cardinals beating the Rams this week, if not for the fact that Kyler also has some of his own injuries going on. However, it's looking like he is going to play against the Rams this week, but that's definitely something to monitor. If it's backup quarterback versus backup quarterback, I'm definitely going to give the Rams the edge there with their defense that the Cardinals backup is going to have to go against. So it's not over. I'm not declaring victory. Like I said, it's a coin toss in my mind whether these things happen. There's I don't know, I guess storylines I can imagine for both scenarios happening. Depends on how Kyler is, whether the Packers really do rest their starters against the Bears, because I think that'll happen. But at the same time, like Austin said, like if they want to keep the Bears out of the playoffs, which they might really want to do, then they might just say what the heck and put them out there. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm speaking of the Packers. That's a team that I don't think anybody in the NFC wants to face right now. That team has progressed. They've fixed a lot of issues, and they're primed. They're primed to make a run right now. They looked really good against the Titans.
They did. And that's what everyone's been saying, all season, is how soft the Packers defense is. They're not a tough defense. They struggle against hard-knocking, tough running teams, but they've looked, for weeks and weeks now, they're doing what they need to do in their offense. The Packers are very dominant right now. And they're actually, I think that the fact that they're shining so well and the Chiefs have still been winning games, but they've kind of been closer than you would think, it's kind of making the Packers outshine the Chiefs a little bit to me right now.
Yeah, and outshining, we could revisit what we talked about. Again, for those listening, we missed last week's podcast because of the holidays, we were traveling and such. So hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, by the way.
Yes.
Did you guys have good Christmases?
Yeah, dude. I had a
Yeah.
baby. I had a baby this Christmas.
Thomas,
Yeah,
congratulations.
that's the big news.
As a child.
I have a second child
Oh my God.
born on the 20th of December. So I had a good Christmas. I haven't slept very much, but it's been a great Christmas.
I believe it. And then Austin came here where Thomas and I live right when I left to go visit my family in Colorado.
Yeah.
So that sucks.
Yeah. I did go visit Thomas, and I met his little daughter, and that was awesome. We had a nice little chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'll just bring that up to say, yeah, we missed last week. So now I've talked so much, I forget why I was going to even bring that up. My whole train of thought is gone. What was I going to say? Oh, yes, the MVP.
Yeah.
Where we're at with MVPs. Because last we talked, I think we were all leaning Mahomes. Is the needle flipped to the other side? I guess I'll say I actually think yes. I think Aaron Rodgers is the MVP right now. And I guess that change for me comes from Aaron Rodgers has had 2 really great weeks, and Mahomes has had, like, not bad, but just kind of pedestrian weeks this past week and the week before. And stats-wise, and we all know how much the voters love stats, Aaron Rodgers has pulled away, in a sense. He has less interceptions, and I think, man, touchdowns, I looked at it just the other day, 40-something, I think 4 or 5 more touchdowns on the season than Mahomes has. So do you guys feel the same way, or what are you thinking?
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers has earned it this point in the season. You know, it's a 17-week season, 16 games. And through 16 games, Aaron Rodgers has played better football than Patrick Mahomes has. So, yeah, if I were voting, I'd vote Aaron Rodgers at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the stats don't lie, but here's a stat that I read about earlier today, actually, that surprised me, is Patrick Mahomes has 16 dropped interceptions, which is the most in the NFL. So he's gotten so lucky with interceptions being dropped, where obviously, you know, that's not a stat you can really count against him, but at the same time it is, because it's like, yeah, that guy, you know, he's really good. But it's like, you know, you see the memes all the time, especially with like no-look passes. I think Matt Stafford had one either this week or last week that was like really impressive. And there were like 20 memes I saw that was like, yeah, if Patrick Mahomes had been this, it would be number 1, you know, ESPN top 10. Everyone would be talking about it for weeks. It would be, you know, like all that stuff. And it's kind of true. Patrick Mahomes has just kind of created this, like, I don't know what you want to call it, this aura or this almost like a bias towards him.
Cool. He just won a Super Bowl, and he's really talented. So
yeah, he's young, talented, and don't get me wrong, I agree with it all. But it is definitely like he does something, everyone's like, "Oh, that's amazing!" It's like everyone else is kind of doing that too. But
that meme, I saw that same one you're talking about, like that format about the Ryan Fitzpatrick pass.
Yes.
See that meme?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! For those who didn't see it, going on a tangent, but a good topic to talk about, the Dolphins overcoming the Raiders. Like, man, what was it on the Dolphins on their own like 35, 40-yard line. Ryan Fitzpatrick, who got put in again for Tua, which is a whole nother topic for us to talk about.
Yeah.
But to tell the story, they have like 20 seconds left. Throws a pass with his face mask being pulled. He's not looking at all.
No,
throwing the ball.
It wasn't his face mask being pulled. It was his head. His head, he was mid decapitation.
There was no way he could have seen where he was throwing.
Pinpoint throw right to his guy on the sideline.
Yeah, man.
Out of bounds, and they beat the Raiders. And the meme, just like you said, Thomas, was like, man, if Patrick Mahomes did this, they would have stopped the game, immediately put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Had a parade, everything.
It's true, man.
Old Harvard grad Ryan Fitzpatrick. So we just, but it's still amazing. Everyone's showing it all the time in the highlights. It's well deserved.
I don't know. It's Fitzmagic. Are we really surprised by Fitzmagic still?
But it's Fitzmagic in December.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
That's a bit different. But, what's the deal? What can the Dolphins commit to one guy, or are they really thinking that this flip-flop whenever they want strategy is doing them any favors?
I just think it's so weird. Because honestly, Tua wasn't playing a terrible game. He didn't have any passing touchdowns or anything. He didn't have any interceptions. It was mostly they were just getting into the red zone and, not getting into the end zone. They kicked a lot of field goals. They had some rushing touchdowns. I don't know. I guess there is that sense of we need someone to come out and make some plays. And that's exactly what Ryan Fitzpatrick did, and he does often. But it's just, I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of game plan that these guys are all been a part of all along, where it's hey, we're going to play you both just in the plays and the moments we think you guys will excel. Because if not, they're both going through this crazy emotional roller coaster, and they're probably overly stressed more than they need to be. But in the end, the Dolphins have a really good chance of going to the playoffs. So, I mean, obviously,
is that worth it? What they're doing just to get to the playoffs? I don't know.
Could be. If you're the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
But this is their future they're toying with here, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't agree with it. I mean, they're in a tough spot because they've already declared to a starter at this point. This wouldn't be a big deal if Fitzpatrick was just playing the whole time, but because they know Ryan Fitzpatrick's not the future, but Tua is. But they won't let him go out and win the game. Hey, we have confidence that you won't commit a turnover the first three quarters, but we don't think that you can go out and win the game in the fourth quarter. So sit down. And I don't know. I guess if both quarterbacks have accepted that role, I guess it's okay if Ryan Fitzpatrick knows before the game, hey, you're gonna go in the fourth quarter. Don't worry about it, man. I guess it takes if that's the plan. But if it's unexpected every time, wait, what? You're taking me out, or I'm going back in? I think that's stressful. But I mean, if they are aware, maybe it works because they can cut down on the turnovers. They have a great defense. Tua cuts down the turnovers, and then Ryan Fitzpatrick doesn't have as much opportunity to throw interceptions if they just play him a little bit at the end of the game. All right, good. Throw the ball deep, man. I don't know. Dude, it could work. Work. I've never seen it.
It's like baseball with pitchers, dude. It's
yeah.
You got your closer, your opener. It's nothing like it's been done effectively for any long span of time in the NFL before.
So
it's been tried and tested, and it hasn't worked. But it's a good short-term solution, but I don't think there's any good long-term solution for this because eventually Tua is going to have to play in the fourth quarter and go out and win the game, and he's got to know that he can do it. Like, it's great he's getting game experience, and that's a benefit. They want to, have their cake and eat it too. I don't even know if that's how you're supposed to use that phrase, but like, we want to get our rookie experience, but we also want to make the playoffs. But we're also sending a message that we can't make the playoffs with you when rookies are kind of expected to just be good right out the gate. So, and I don't know. I think it's a bad long-term idea, but if it can get, if they win the Super Bowl because of it, then I guess it's not that big of a deal this year.
If you win the Super Bowl, who cares about the future? That's how I think it is. But anything short of winning the Super Bowl, no one remembers afterwards. Yeah. No one even remembers who lost in the Super Bowl most of the time.
It's true.
So that's why I feel like this could very well get them into the playoffs. But man, like, to have your rookie quarterback have the rug pulled from under his feet, not just once, but several times throughout the season when he's not even committing gross errors, is we already know how hard it is to have confidence in this league, especially at the quarterback position. They're just going to make it really, really hard on Tua, which is what I was afraid of when they did decide to switch over to Tua, but I never imagined it would be this flip-floppy. And like I said, I think, honestly, the Dolphins came to the season with a plan, and Ryan Fitzpatrick kind of ruined their plan by being really good. And they expected them to be, I don't know, probably decent. But I think when they were winning that much and they're in the race, things changed, and here they are. And clearly their priority is to get into the playoffs, which is good. We want teams to play to win, but I think, like I said, taking Tua out this often is not going to help, probably going to hurt.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. But I think you're right when I agree that teams should do whatever it takes to win. And if that means playing flippy-floppy with your quarterbacks for a few games, like, cool. That's the other thing. If no matter what happens next season, I doubt it'll be the same situation and we'll forget what was even happening this. But let me ask you guys, if you were to choose, if you were, the GM of the Dolphins or head coach or whatever you want to be, and you need to sign, you need one of those two guys to start for the next year or two, who are you going to have do it? Are you going to stick with Fitzpatrick? If you're declaring your starter for all of next season, is it Fitzpatrick or Tua at this point?
I would definitely say it's got to be Tua. Fitzpatrick, he's surpassed expectations this year, no doubt. But quarterbacks, when you know what they are what they are. And Fitzpatrick, he is capable of this, but that doesn't mean he is a playoff contending franchise quarterback. He's not, in my opinion. And lots of times GMs and teams make moves to get guys like Fitzpatrick or Case Keenum after they come off of a hot season because they're like, maybe they've turned the corner and there's something that they weren't before. Mm-hmm. But I've never seen that truly be the case over a long span of time. Most of the time, they come crashing back to earth really quickly, and just kind of go back to what they've always been rather than what they were for a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. But I still do think well, let me ask you, Austin, who would you start for the Dolphins next year?
Well, if I was going to do it, if I was to start Tua, I would have to get rid of Fitzpatrick off the team. Like, he's got to just go. He can't be the backup because he's always going to be the temptation there. And
yeah, dude.
Like, I gotta. If I'm going Tua, I gotta be all in. But I don't know if I want to get rid of Fitzpatrick. I think Tua's just got to sit on the bench another year, man. And you just gotta ride the Fitzpatrick train until it's over.
Yeah.
I don't you're having more success with this guy. You play him until you're not having success with him, and there's not been a point in the season where they weren't having success with Fitzpatrick. So, like, because he was exceeding expectations, the very definition of that is you're succeeding. So, you're doing more than what you thought you could. And if you're doing more than what you thought you could with your quarterback, which, is a low bar, but you're still putting him in over Tua. So you just sit Tua, you let him sit in Aaron Rodgers length of time behind Fitzpatrick, and you just try and make the Super Bowl with your guy that you think's better right now.
I can agree with you there. I don't know, like, that's the thing. Fitzpatrick, he's been a lot more consistent in his level of play this season than he ever has. And part of me is like, yeah, I don't want to give that up. But I agree, Tua needs to sit another year. I don't think it would hurt him. I think it would only help him. But at the same time, that back in the good old days, quarterbacks would get drafted and they would sit for 2 or 3 years and learn from the master and kind of take over the reins when it was time and they were ready. Lately, guys are just getting thrown into those starting positions game 1, season 1, and it's just because, I don't know, there's crazy situations. But the difference is, like, Aaron Rodgers sat under Brett Favre for, like, what, 4 years, 5 years? And Aaron Rodgers is great. But anyone sitting under Ryan Fitzpatrick is a backup quarterback. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If you want your future star to learn from a master, I don't think Fitzpatrick is the master that you really want your quarterback to be learning from. I think that only works when it's an elite, future Hall of Famer quarterback. I mean, sure, Ryan can give some advice, but dude, they show videos. I don't know why I see videos all the time of the conversations between Ryan Fitzpatrick and Tua on the sideline and stuff, and all the mentoring Ryan Fitzpatrick is giving him. And I'm sure a lot of it's good, but I saw one the other day where it's like Ryan's just like, man, sometimes you just gotta sling it, like you gotta get just past that contested ball, like he's just like, sometimes you just gotta like say F it, someone's down there. And that's totally what Ryan Fitzpatrick is. But I just don't know, if I were an owner or a GM or a head coach, I don't know if that's the advice I want my future star quarterback to be getting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair with that, though, I think that's the advice Tua needs, because he's a really safe passer.
He really has. That's one thing. He's definitely been conservative. And maybe that's why they're like, all right, we need someone that's got the balls to just friggin' rip it down the field.
That brings me to a question I'll ask you guys. If you're a GM or a coach, would you rather have a short pass game manager guy gets you the first down reliably, or a playmaker, a guy that's gonna, that's either gonna throw a touchdown or interception, but he can, you can win the game with him, or a guy that you're not sure he can make the play, but he's going to give you all 4 quarters of above average football.
Mm-hmm.
What would you guys rather have?
For me, it's the playmaker, man. Like, I feel like those are the guys, with obvious exceptions, that you want when your season's on the line, because sooner or later, to get to the top and win the Super Bowl, there's going to be a game where your quarterback's going to have to go and win you the game. I think that's true of basically any playoff run. So that's who I want. Someone I know that I'm confident I have a real shot to go and win the game with when it's on their shoulders.
Yeah. I think that's almost looking at that's comparing a Tom Brady or a Drew Brees to a Patrick Mahomes or a Russell Wilson. You've got the systematic pocket passers, or you've got the guys that can literally just be like, hold my beer, like I'm gonna go win this game for us, kind of thing. And I think you can really build. I mean, that's the thing. It's how you build the system and the team around them, because all of those guys have won Super Bowls and are extremely successful and on extremely successful teams. But I kind of agree with Parker. I think it's more entertaining. I think it's less consistent. But yeah, when you need one play to work, you need the playmaker, not the systematic quarterback. So I like Russell Wilson, so I'm obviously gonna go for a playmaker.
Dude, yeah, but man, if you can have the Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers, that's like both, dude. Like,
yeah,
less interceptions than the conservative, just move the chains quarterbacks, but way more touchdowns. So they're just cheat codes.
If you can just have those two, yeah. But that's why those guys are the two front runners for the MVP race. They kind of don't fit in it. They're the outliers.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I would go with Fitzpatrick. Because we're talking about two average quarterbacks. One's going to make you make plays. One's just going to get you first downs. So I'm like, I would hide Tua and have him be trade bait later for another draft where you might think another.
You're saying you know what Tua is. The jury's out on Tua already, and you move off of it.
If he doesn't look like he's any better in practice, yeah, I would hide him.
See, man, that's where I differ from you. I'm like I was saying, like, we know what Fitzpatrick is. We don't know what Tua as an NFL quarterback is yet. It's way too early to be like, oh, because he's a rookie this season and he kind of throws conservative passes and he hasn't done this or that. I don't think that's what he is yet. We don't know yet.
I agree and disagree at the same time. I agree with the thought process, but I'm just thinking of guys like Burrow and Herbert and Kyler Murray that we saw in like a couple games. Like, they can go win you the game or have the capability of doing it. Tua, I don't know if it's they're holding him back, they're not letting him because they don't trust him, or if it's just because that's his personality. And I can see where we don't know yet what he is. But I mean, I don't know if they're putting in Ryan Fitzpatrick over Tua. I don't think they have the confidence that he's capable of doing it. I don't know.
That's the thing. That's the thing, though, is we don't know. He's never really been able to close out a game and prove whether he can win it or not.
And to your point, how could he possibly have the confidence to sling the ball when he knows if he makes any mistakes, he's going to be on the bench? Yeah. Like, that's exactly what I'm talking about with this.
Well, here's the clear thing. Brian Flores is the coach, and he's not going anywhere, and he doesn't like him. It's pretty obvious. So, I mean, if it was a different situation, then sure. But, like, I'm just thinking in Brian Flores' mind, and if you want to keep Brian Flores, you're going to need to get it someone else because it's clearly that relationship's not working.
Yeah, I see your point there.
True.
I just think the big issue is, I'm not saying Ryan Fitzpatrick is a bad idea to go with him and start him, but that can't be your long-term solution. You know, you can hide to get some trade, value out of him somehow, but once again, you're going to be at square one quarterback position in 2-3 years.
Right. Well, I mean, here's the thing. So if you start him all year and he's not good, like he's not performing to the level of even backup journeyman Ryan Fitzpatrick, and he doesn't look any better than him, then he has no trade value.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That'll be a busted pick. You're not going to get crap for Tua.
Yeah, exactly. So what you need to do is not let him play. And
come on.
Hey, look, he doesn't throw interceptions. Take him. Maybe he'll fit your system.
That's not going to work, man. You can't have a first-round top-tier quarterback that you just never play and be like, hey guys, you want this quarterback? Like, we just never felt like playing him. Like, it's totally fine. He's not broken or anything. We just don't use it.
The quarterback,
We'll need it.
the quarterback any team will want him. I don't think they'll get a ton out of him, but they'll get more out of him than if he plays and he's not good.
Yeah.
They'll sure as heck not get what they paid for him back. That's for sure.
Well, no, for sure. But they'd get more. That's what I'm saying. Like, no matter what, you're not going to get much. But unless, like, and obviously if he's really good and he's stunning, and then they keep him. But yeah, you get more out of him. You know, it's like it's better to stay silent and me assume you're dumb than speak and know for sure. So
here's the deal. I think Tua is a good quarterback. He's extremely talented and he has a ton of potential. I honestly think the Dolphins really screwed up in the expectations they set between him and Ryan Fitzpatrick at the beginning of the season. So I think it would have just been better if they're like, Tua, we're starting Ryan for the first few games. You are taking the reins. You are our permanent starter. We are never going to, you're our guy. We're committed to you. And then he would have the guts to be willing to make mistakes and learn from them and, blossom into something where I think Parker's right. He's scared to make a mistake because he will be benched. He's getting benched even when he doesn't make mistakes. And that's screwing up with his mind. I don't think he's reaching his potential. And I honestly think it's because of the staff and how they've handled the situation.
Yeah.
They don't want him to make mistakes, and that's why they keep taking him out.
Yeah,
I think I'm just.
I would trade. I would miss the playoffs, start Tua, and have a great quarterback for the next 5 or 10 years. Then, realistically, they might make the playoffs. They might win one game, but that's it. I don't think that's worth it.
I'm totally in agreement with Thomas here. Like we talked about, it's good to play to win, but it's got to be within reason. And to me, where the Dolphins are at realistically, if I'm the GM of the Dolphins, I'm saying we're good. We're better than I thought we would be. Is it very likely we're going to go and beat the Chiefs or the Packers or the Bills? It's possible, but not super likely. But our future is really, really bright. But they're kind of screwing that up with what they're doing.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
It's worth it.
No, it is. You got, like, if you have a chance to make the playoffs, you got to go now. You can't just throw seasons away. You have to win now.
Well, here's the thing. I believe that's true, but I can also say that just leaving your starting quarterback in all 4 quarters isn't throwing your season away. Let him win or lose the game.
Yeah, because
it's
not guaranteed.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. If you don't believe that he can win the game, just have him sit and play Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I agree with that. I do, and that's what I said they should have done. I don't think they should have gone to Tua.
Yeah. Because
it's like you said, it's like going on a diet, but you're leaving all the sweets in the fridge, freshly baked. Yeah, you're going to go in there and want to get back at that at some point, especially when you're really hungry for a win.
Yeah.
And they did it, and they cannot resist.
But fundamentally here, I think Brian Flores knows that they missed. And I know that you're like, we haven't seen enough. I think I have. That Tua is not really any better than any other Alabama quarterback that's come into the league. Okay.
If you're going to say that, Austin, we need a long-term wager. You can name the terms, but I guarantee you Tua is going to thrive in the NFL. Whether it's at the Dolphins or somewhere else, you have not seen enough.
Dude. Are we talking Jared Goff thrive, or are we talking
No.
Mahomes thrive?
He is going – here's the thing. Before I continue this point, one thing too is it's not like the Dolphins have the record they have because of their quarterback play. It's their defense and special teams. So really, would playing just Tua or just Ryan Fitzpatrick make that much of a difference?
Really, they think it does.
Yeah, but does it? I know they think that, but it's the freaking Dolphins. They're They're
Now to be fair on this point, I don't think Tua would have made that pass Ryan Fitzpatrick made to win the game. I think
obviously.
that is a +1 win because they did it.
But okay, but that's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, we can't base it off this literal blindfolded pass. Like, oh yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick should be this. I know.
Where Tua throws like less than 200 yards, throws 1 touchdown, no picks, and the offense looks boring. He's Kirk Cousins, man.
Okay.
He's gonna have a Kirk Cousins career.
There's your wager.
Do you think Kirk Cousins is thriving? So that will change the terms of the bet. Is Kirk Cousins thriving because he's making a lot of money, and the Vikings, sometimes go to the wild card game? So
I'm mediating this. This is your guys' thing right here, so I'm gonna try and sift through this. I feel like you guys are on very opposite ends. Like, Austin's talking about him not being the starter for the Dolphins in a couple years, that sort of talk. And Thomas, thriving, trying to sift through year in year out playoff contending franchise signal caller. I feel like you guys are coming from two opposite spectrum points. I don't know.
I'm not saying that he's gonna, all of a sudden become better than Patrick Mahomes, but I guarantee, whether it's on the Dolphins or somewhere else, in 2, 3, 4 years, Tua's gonna be the guy the team relies on. He's gonna be the playmaker. He's gonna be the shot caller. He's gonna get things done. He just doesn't have the experience, and he has a coaching staff that is not letting him play the way he should.
I think he's playing the way he has to play.
Because of the coaching staff.
Yeah, because of the coaching staff. They're literally over there like, dude, if you screw this up, pack your freaking bags, bro.
Why don't they let Tua play at the end of that Raiders game?
Because they're too greedy to make one playoff game. They just want to make the playoffs so bad, they'll try anything.
Ryan Fitzpatrick made the play. He had more yards in the fourth quarter than Tua had the whole game. Because why can't they have the plays that Ryan Fitzpatrick has for Tua?
I mean, clearly at this point they see them in their roles. They say Tua through 3 quarters is not going to lose us the game. But if we're in the fourth quarter and we're staring a loss down, sure, put Ryan Fitzpatrick in. If he throws a classic Fitz pick, we've already lost anyway. It doesn't matter. So just let him do his thing.
Well, if they're thinking that, then have Tua do it.
Yeah, I think they should. That's the thing.
They're not, because they don't think that he can throw it a touchdown. They think it's more likely that Ryan Fitzpatrick throws a touchdown than Tua doesn't throw a pick.
I think that's their fault. I mean, Tua needs to be in these situations more. Put him in.
That's what I'm saying. You're saying the Dolphins coaching staff is right. I am saying they're wrong.
If they had confidence in him, they'd let him, but they don't.
Yeah, and that's their fault. I think it's their fault.
It's Tua's fault for not being good.
He is good.
All right.
He is good.
Ding, ding, ding. Ring the bell. The round's over. All right, guys. I just want to ask you two a plain, straight question. 2021, or in other words, the 2021 season, next year, week 17, Austin, will Tua be the starting quarterback for the Dolphins? A year from now.
Probably.
And Thomas,
yeah, I would say yes. Would I do it? No, but they're going to do it.
All right.
Probably.
All right. And then
here's my wager, Austin.
Let's hear it.
Take it or leave it. End of the season next year, after week 17. I don't care where Tua is playing. He's going to have over 30 passing touchdowns.
You want to wager that? I'll take that bet.
All right. Sure. Let's go.
No.
Let's go.
Okay. All right. What's on the line?
Okay. The loser has to wear a t-shirt that has an arrow pointing up that says, "I'm with stupid on one of our podcasts.
Deal.
All right.
I'll be really excited when you wear that shirt next week.
Dude.
There's no way he throws 30 touchdowns next year.
Dude, absolutely he will.
No way he does.
All right, real quick. Going into week 17, quarterbacks with 30 or more touchdowns. We got Deshaun. We got Kirk Cousins, Austin, who you just made the direct comparison to. We got our boy Ryan Tannehill, Big Ben, Josh Allen, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. End of list of 30 touchdowns at this point.
So how many quarterbacks is that?
That is 9 quarterbacks. So you said at the end of the season, though?
Yep, after week 17. So we'll probably have one or two
Regular
more
season,
in there.
Regular
Yeah.
season touchdown
So
total.
we got Justin Herbert at 28 right now. He will probably make that mark. Kyler Murray at 26. He might. Now, real quick,
Kyler Murray's kind of an outlier because he has so many friggin' rushing touchdowns.
That's what I wanted to clarify. Are we talking all touchdowns or just passing touchdowns?
Passing touchdowns.
Passing touchdowns.
Yeah, passing touchdowns.
Tom.
Passing, we can go passing touchdowns.
All right.
Not total touchdowns, passing touchdowns. That's different.
He's gonna sling 30 touchdowns. Okay. You got to remember, I'm going to jot this down because that's a whole year from now. So,
dude, I cannot wait. That podcast, we're just going to have you be the screen and it's just going to zoom up. I'm with stupid.
I can't wait for that to happen for you.
That's an ambitious bet for both. I don't know. But only time will tell.
I'm so confident I'm going to win that bet.
Dude, I'm going to friggin' become a Dolphins fan next year.
Dude.
I'm going to have to buy a Tua jersey and stuff.
All right. So we've definitely talked about the Dolphins, but let's put it into let's zoom out a little bit into the actual playoffs of the AFC that the Dolphins are competing in. Quick question, guys. Like we started the show off with, there's 5 teams that are fighting to be in the playoffs, either as a wild card or in the case of the Titans and Colts, they could win their division. We're talking about the Titans, Dolphins, Ravens, Browns, and Colts. One of those teams will not be in the playoffs. Which team do you think misses?
Okay, so the Browns play the Steelers, right?
That's right. Fresh off of their Jets loss.
The Ravens play the Bengals. And who do the Titans play?
It's all divisional matchups this week. I just need to remind myself. Is it Texans? Did you just ask the Titans who the Titans play? Yeah, it's the Texans.
Okay, and the Colts play the Jags. Then?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ooh. And who the Dolphins play?
The Dolphins are going up against the Patriots?
The Patriots, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
No, sorry. No, the Jets play the Patriots.
Oh.
They just...
Dolphins play the Bills.
The Dolphins might be out.
Are the Bills going to play Josh Allen? They've clinched their playoff spot. They've clinched their division, too.
That's another question. Do the Bills just not want the Dolphins in?
You gotta love Week 17, man.
Yeah. I think the Ravens are almost a lock. I don't see how the Bengals could beat them.
I agree.
Well, the Bengals just had a big win this past week, though, over who did they play in Week 16?
Did they play Steelers? No, they played.
No, the Steelers
they
beat
played
the
Houston.
Colts.
They played Houston.
They beat Houston, put up 37 on Houston, which, I mean, Houston's not great, but I don't know. The Bengals, it's a possibility is what I'm saying.
You're right, it is a possibility. I mean, yeah. Bad teams win, but I find that scenario unlikely.
And then, I mean, you got the Colts going up against the Jags. That feels pretty
That feels
I
pretty
mean,
solid.
That's
But
about
the Jags beat them in week 1.
That's
So-
true. That's
The
true.
one win is against the Colts.
The Jags, they're only 2 wins of the season on the same team. That'd be funny, man.
Yeah,
And the Jags have nothing to lose from winning.
right. So they could. I mean, they could want to play spoiler. I could see that. Shoot.
See.
It could be the Browns.
I don't know though. That's what I think, but at the same time, the Browns could win that game.
They
They
could definitely.
That's the real first demon they gotta exercise is beating the Steelers, because they got whooped by them the first time they played, and the Steelers have been, the bully in their division. Can't beat the Steelers. They're stone's throw away, cities wise, just across state lines, and they hate them, and they haven't beaten them in years. Like, well, I mean, I think they beat him last year, but I mean that was the first time in a long time, and I think they have to overcome this hurdle. There's a lot riding. Is everyone gonna be back from COVID? Because I know that was
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a
depleted.
really good question. But all I'm saying is the Steelers have kind of, almost been lackluster compared to how dominant they've been earlier season. So if the Browns are gonna beat them, it's this game. You know what I mean?
Right. This is their chance. This is the best chance.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. This is the best chance they have to beat the Steelers.
So jog my memory, guys. New playoff structure. Does only the number 1 seed get a bye now?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And the Chiefs have it, and I don't think the Steelers can move past the Bills.
Well, they can. Well, they can because they're both 12-3.
Oh, really? Okay.
So
The Bills would have to lose.
So it'd be a
Is
difference between having the 2 seed and the 3 seed.
So that's something to play for. That's home field advantage in some cases in matchups if it comes down to it. So the Bills and Steelers might be showing up to play, both of them this week, to get that.
Okay.
So
I think the Browns have a better chance of beating the Steelers than the Dolphins do the Bills.
I agree.
I would agree with that.
But the I don't know. The receiver core has to be back, because that was a bad loss to the Jets. And I know people are giving Baker Mayfield kind of a hard time about it, but I don't blame him too much for that loss. You can only do so much with what you have.
Yeah.
But
and just to throw this out there, in the very unlikely scenario that all of these teams we've mentioned, either all of them win or all of them lose, that leaves the Colts on the outside. And the Colts would miss in that case because they're currently not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know what, though? I'm actually... Man. I think I'm going to call... I'm going on my gut here because this is tough. I could see so many things happening. I actually think the Bengals beat the Ravens, and I think the Ravens miss.
Wow,
because
that's bold, man.
That is bold, but I think it's really about as likely as most of these things. Now, definitely, the Dolphins-Bills feels like a hurdle, but I could see that win happening. I don't know. That's what I'm going to go with here. I think that divisional matchup, I could see the Bengals stealing a win. But that would, of course, that leaves most of these other teams winning. Because let me think, if the Browns lost and the Ravens lost, then I think the Ravens are still in at that point. Man, I don't know. It's tough to say. That's what I'm going to go with. But what do you guys think?
It's a mixed bag. I'm going to go... I think the Browns miss.
Yeah, I don't want them to, but I think that's the. Everyone else has a really easy matchup. The Browns have a very difficult matchup,
I
so I
think the
think that right there.
Browns screw
The
it up.
Dolphins, though, that's the tough one.
That's the tough one. But like, if the Dolphins lost and the Browns lost, I think the Dolphins would be in, and the Browns would be out. Given that the Colts win. So and go the Colts and the Titans. I think I'm gonna go Cleveland missing. I think they screw it up somehow, because the Dolphins can lose. I like your bold prediction of the Ravens missing, but I don't know. I think I can see it happening, but the Ravens do a good job of beating bad teams. I think so. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, looking at it, I think the Colts definitely win their game. Like, I really think they're going to beat the Jaguars.
Yeah.
And then the Titans beating the Texans, that's going to be a game, but I still feel like the Titans pull that one out. I don't know. The other games, besides that, none of the games feel as certain to me. The Ravens and the Bengals on paper looks about as almost as certain as some of those matchups, but I don't feel like it is for some reason.
I gotta go with your gut.
Well, we'll see. And what'd you go with, Thomas? Same thing?
I think the Browns miss. I don't want them to. I'd love them to be the Steelers, but
yeah, I think it'd be fun if they were in, but I think they might miss out.
All right.
It'd be hilarious. It's sad, but kind of funny.
Now, on the other end, it's not as dramatic over in the NFC as it is in the AFC. I mean, I just can't stop looking at, oh my gosh, all these teams in the AFC that could be in or out. That's so fun.
Yeah.
Whereas in the NFC, really the only question mark left, well, besides who wins the NFC East, and that's a question we're going to talk about. But as far as the wild card spots, it's just up between the Rams, the Bears, and the Cardinals, and one of those teams isn't getting in. And we kind of talked about what needs to happen. If the Rams win, they're in no matter what. If the Cardinals win, they're also in no matter what. For the Bears, they need to not only win, but the Rams need to also lose for them to make the playoffs. So I called my shot here weeks ago when we made our bet of what I think is going to happen. Austin, what are you thinking is going to actually happen, though?
The Bears are playing the Packers. Man. I think the Bears lose to the Packers, and then making the Cardinal-Ram game a little bit moot. But I think the Packers take care of the Bears. They have their number. And even if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play or just plays for a half or something, the Bears are playing really good right now. They're scoring over 30 points a game past like a couple weeks. But I don't know. I think the Packers kind of want to make another statement win. They might want to. That's a tough call, but
I might have lied real quick though. On second thought, if the Bears lose and the Cardinals lose, I think the Bears are in.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah. It depends on tiebreakers and stuff like that.
Having the Packers, they've clinched the number 1 seed, right?
They've clinched it
because they needed someone. They needed someone to lose.
The Saints had to lose. No one. I think they've had it, right, or what?
No. Before Sunday, there was a way that the Seahawks could still get the number 1 seed, but that didn't happen.
Really?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it was.
All those tiebreakers, all the little things.
I think it was
the Packers probably had to lose.
The Packers had to lose. Yeah, I think that's what it was, actually.
I think the Packers, they win out, they get the 1 seed no matter what. But I don't think, because the Saints won and the Seahawks won, and the NFC East isn't posing any threat to 1 seed. So.
Yeah. By the way,
they just had to win out.
The Buccaneers looked pretty dominant this week. I think we're back to, I don't know. They've been so inconsistent, but they looked really good. And, oh my gosh. Can we just for a second talk about Alvin Kamara?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Holy. What a Christmas present to all fantasy owners. If anyone listening to this was in the championship with Kamara, congratulations on winning your championship.
6 touchdowns in one game. He also does have the NFL record for the most touchdowns in a quarter with 4, I think.
Wow. And that was tying the record for most touchdowns ever, right?
That's true.
In a game.
Yeah, in a game. He could have had it, but they let Taysom Hill run it in, which brought a lot of controversy.
Taysom Hill always stealing.
Dude, I think everyone hates Taysom Hill in the NFL. I think they all absolutely hate Taysom Hill.
Are you talking about players or are you talking about fans?
Probably both.
I brought this up before. There's like this quiet contingency of fans and I think a little bit players that really aren't into this whole Taysom Hill thing. It's real. You're right.
Well, he did take that touchdown away.
But it's like, I don't know, part of it's like, well, it's not his fault. Like, he's just doing what he was told to do.
No.
Here's the problem. Sean Payton just really likes Taysom Hill for some reason.
I don't think Kamara cares. He talked about it after the game and was like, no, man, that's fine. He's my teammate. So the only people that care are, I don't know, people who wanted to see him get 60 fantasy points rather than 55.
Yeah, the only people that care are the people that somehow still lost the Super Bowl, even though they had Kamara.
I don't know how that's possible, man.
Well, I mean, Taysom Hill didn't have the last touchdown, did he? I don't think he did.
No, he had the one
the last one
before the last one, yeah.
I mean, what were they going to do, like, just have, like, that could have been his last touchdown anyway. Like, if they would have ran Kamara and got his 6, there's no guarantee he would have gotten another one.
But that's that's the thing. No matter what, especially Saints fans are going to complain. They're going to complain. No offense, Saints fans.
Saints fans are listening. We love you.
We love you. I love the Saints. I'm a Saints fan.
Yeah, but no matter what, Kamara could not be stopped. Like, Sean Payton was the only one in that game that stopped him from getting a touchdown because the Vikings weren't going to stop him at any point.
No way.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man. Is Kamara, like, overall the best running back in the league right now?
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, for sure. I think the only person that could come in contention would be Dalvin Cook, but those two just faced off, and Kamara obviously outshined. Not that totally decides it, but yeah, Kamara's. I mean, I've decided I absolutely love watching dual threat running backs that can run and catch. It's cool.
Would you rather?
He's the one I said I would pay. The one running back I would pay.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And because you get the most out of him, you get the most use out of him, and we saw it. So.
That's true. You guys, just to be clear, if you guys, for your respective teams, you'd rather have Kamara than CMC on your team?
Christian McCaffrey? Yeah.
At this point, yeah. I still think I would take either gladly. But obviously, part of it's the injuries CMC's been going through this year. But yeah, Alvin Kamara is the best in the league right now.
He's killing it. But anyway, so sorry, Austin. I think we got off. Did you say who do you think's missing the playoffs?
I think it's the Bears.
Okay. If the Bears miss it. Yeah, that's right. And I think Thomas feels the same. Well, I don't know. Who do you think makes it?
Yeah, the Bears miss it.
Gonna be the Rams, man. You're gonna owe me a root beer float.
It's gotta be.
Oh, dude, I can feel it. I can feel it.
Wait. I think the Rams are going to the playoffs. Okay, I see what you're saying. You think the Rams are missing the playoffs. I was like, wait. You can't try and switch it on me now that you know you're going to lose.
It's come down to week 17.
Dude, I love it.
17.
That's fun.
I love these bets. Dude, I'm so excited for next year.
I'm excited too.
No, I'm more excited. I am more excited.
I am excited for that.
All right. Oh, we got to go. Okay, so I think the only divisional race that really matters right now really is the NFC East. We still on the bubble. The Cowboys could win the division. The Giants could win the division. Or the Washington football team could win the division. Austin, as our resident NFC East truther, Cowboy, dem boys extraordinaire, who the heck is going to win this crap whole division?
Oh, man.
Because the last time we get debate this, we've done it all season.
In the Philadelphia Eagles right now. So,
My gosh.
because the Washington football team has to lose. So,
and you guys got to beat the Giants.
And they're the only
let's start with
ones
that. How do you feel about
eliminated.
beating the Giants?
Yeah, which I think that the Cowboys can do. We can do it. I'm not, it's in New York, so we'll see. But the Cowboys are playing really well right now. They spanked the 49ers, and they just got done spanking the Eagles. And so this is not the Cowboy team I'm used to seeing. I don't know what. It's 2020, man. I don't know what Cowboy team I'm watching. Sometimes they look like I'm watching, the old 90s teams, and then there's sometimes I'm watching the 1-15 teams. So I don't know what I'm getting, but if they're playing like they are right now, they should beat the Giants. And the Cowboys are pretty reliable in beating the Giants most of the time. But
so how do you feel about Jalen Hurts going up against that Washington team?
I don't like it because Washington has a lot to play for. I mean, if Alex Smith is healthy, I don't see that happening. The Eagles winning, but I mean, they just got rid of Dwayne Haskins. Alex Smith is questionable. He might not play, and if he doesn't play, then oh my goodness, we got ourselves a chance, man. Cowboys to make the playoffs.
We in just a second we gotta talk about the Dwayne Haskins move, but
yeah.
But before we do that, is there a chance? Look, the Eagles have nothing to play for besides spoiling someone. But who do they want to spoil?
I know. But I mean,
That's
come on,
the question.
it's Philly and Washington. They want Washington wants to spoil Dallas and make the playoffs. So, but yeah, the Eagles are going to play hard without a doubt. I have no doubt, and especially with the Jets winning the last two games, there's no tanking. You're playing to win, man. Every game. So, if they're going to play hard, but Washington's a better football team. But the thing that's giving me hope is Alex Smith can't play.
That's the deciding factor for you. If I narrow this down, you have confidence that your boys can beat the Giants. So really,
I do have confidence that will happen.
So if Alex Smith doesn't play, you are saying the Dallas Cowboys will be in the playoffs.
The Dallas Cowboys will be in the playoffs, man. As
with an incredible 7-9 record would be the record that they go into the playoffs with.
We them boys, Austin. We them boys.
We them boys, man. We them boys.
No one's going with a winning record out of this division.
Yeah.
No one. It's impossible. So might as well be us.
Can you guys imagine how hysterical it would be if whatever team wins this division made it to like the Super Bowl or
That would
won
be-
the Super Bowl.
That would be hilarious and awesome.
Like,
I mean,
that would kind of sum up 2020 pretty well, right? And honestly, of all the teams in this division, like, you know, just based on performance this last week and the week before, it's the Cowboys, right? They're actually looking pretty good the last couple weeks. I mean,
it's all about when you get hot. Getting hot at the right
yeah,
time.
dude.
Well, if they win the division, they play. I think the 5 seed is set as Tampa Bay, right? So they play.
Yeah, it
they
is.
play Tom Brady's Buccaneers,
Yep.
and they're
Dude, you always got a chance against those guys.
They're like, woo! So you never know. We put some pressure on old Tommy boy.
I gotta get your official in the books pick, Thomas. Who you going with? Who's going?
Out of the NFC East?
Yeah.
I honestly do. I think that the Eagles could beat Washington. If Alex Smith doesn't play, I mean, Jalen Hurts, he's still a wild card. We still haven't seen all he can do, and we know he's extremely athletic. He can dance around that Washington defense. I think I think the Cowboys make it.
Oh,
I think they beat the Giants.
Team make it though? Do you think is there the scenario where a 6-10, the first 6-10 team Giants make it?
No.
Is that it? Yeah, because that's what happens if the Giants win and the football team
Washington
loses.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's here's my pick. Is I think the football team's gonna win and go. But man, I'll tell you what though, Austin, you should be really happy that Carson Wentz is benched, because if Carson Wentz was still in, look, your boys ain't going to playoffs. That's for sure not gonna happen.
Dude,
Not
Cowboys
a chance.
I picked it just so that we could go to the playoffs. So
how funny. You want, man, your pick of what would happen to your arch rivals might give you a little bit of hope you need.
I know. Saying that the Eagles would get better to help the Cowboys win is such a weird thing to think about. But
Look,
do you guys?
I think real quick, I think you're right. I think everyone plays to win, but look, let's be real about what this division is. The Eagles hate no one more than the Cowboys.
Yeah.
They might not like the Giants. They might not like the football team, but they hate the Cowboys most of all. So
yeah, it's true. They're gonna play hard. But Washington also hates Dallas, and so they're gonna play hard too. And so I'm like, oh, man, it's tough sledding because Washington is a good team, and we can talk about the Dwayne Haskins thing now. I mean, Ron Rivera, no nonsense. I think the team's serious. So like, all right, we got rid of this clown. Let's go to the playoffs. You know. So I'm sure that gained a lot of respect.
Do we know like exactly like the clown stuff? Dwayne Haskins, was there one specific event, or was it just kind of accumulation of?
Well, the one lately, the only real event that I think anyone's talking about is he went to some party without a mask on or something lately, breaking league COVID protocols.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was just. But if you want my opinion, I think that was just the Washington football team saying, "Oh, this is a good time to do what we've wanted to do for a while." Yeah. I just think Dwayne Haskins is just a plain bust through and through. I think it doesn't fit Ron Rivera's system. I've never thought he looked good, to be honest. So
did you see that he got benched this Sunday, and the last play of the game, which is a game that he started, and his first game that he started, and the team actually won. Like the last play, he was on the sidelines taking pictures with fans. He wasn't even watching the game. He wasn't even watching him win the game.
The other thing that happened was he skipped the press, kind of like he did a. And that was another thing where like he didn't, go. He didn't do all the other stuff, not just go to a party which they were also pretty mad about. But like he just left. He didn't he just got dressed and left and didn't talk to the media and didn't answer texts from the coach or from anybody trying to get a hold of him that whole night. And so they cut him the next morning.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was a lot.
Get rid of him, man.
Yeah, man. What a way to, when you're not good already. Like, that's just making sure you get fired. Like,
Yeah.
And he cleared waivers. No teams picked him up. Yeah, he's a free agent now. I don't think he's ever gonna be a team actual starting quarterback ever again. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like this Washington football team. Look, if I'm being real, the Cowboys are looking a lot better lately, but in my heart, I feel like the Washington football team is the one that deserves to be there. That being said, their division, their record, they're still 6-9. So from a record standpoint, they don't deserve it obviously any more than anyone who's gonna take it from them this week. But it's felt to me throughout this season like they've been, you guys have seen it too. They feel like they're maybe a step above some of these NFC's teams most of the time.
Still a step behind all the other divisional leaders, but a
the
step ahead of their
NFC
division.
East is like, you'd be ranked 5th in the college rankings.
Yeah.
Something like that, Like, right. It's not that great.
No offense, Austin. No offense.
No, they've looked better for a longer period of time, if that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
I guess consistency would be maybe some of the word I'm looking for too.
They've been trying to play football all 16 games, whereas the Cowboys decided they weren't going to play football for a large portion, and then decide to later on. Kind of a tortoise in the hair type thing. I don't know, but
see, exactly. Like the Cowboys, at times you're like, wait, this could be the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
That was always a possibility with the Cowboys and the Eagles too.
Yeah.
And whereas Washington football team, you're like, you didn't think they were that low at any point.
Yeah. I mean, well, whoever wins the division.
Whoever wins it.
They deserved it, so it might as well be the Cowboys, baby.
For your sake, I hope it happens.
If we're gonna go 7-9 and have that high of a draft pick, might as well just go to the playoffs.
I know, man. The team could win the division and still be like an 11 or 12 pick in the draft.
I know.
What the heck is going on?
Well, I mean, so once you make the playoffs, they reorder teams that make the playoffs reorder it. So
that's right. Then one game could either make you the 26th pick or whatever, or you're the 9th or 10th pick.
Yeah, and by 11, it's whatever. May as well, have the 20-something. So
win at all costs, baby.
Yeah.
All costs.
I'm being consistent. Dolphins win now. Cowboys win right now. Just go do it.
I like it, man.
The Cowboys go 7-9. I think Mike McCarthy earned another year.
Wow,
I'm
surprised you said that.
But you can't fire him after that. I think if they win, even if they miss the playoffs and they go 7-9, I think you give him another year.
Well, it's not like he's not going to get another year anyway. Cause
I know. I'm just saying that's where I'm. Yeah, that's what you said is realistic. What I'm saying is
you just won't be as pissed. You'll be less mad next year.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We have talked all about the playoffs today. We've gone both conferences. I think we're about the time we're going to close up, and if you guys are cool with it, I want to close with this. No more, I could see this, I could see that. I want your Super Bowl matchup prediction. We're putting this in ink. This is who you think is going to be in the Super Bowl. Now, you don't even need to pick your winner right now, but I want you to pick your two teams. And this is one I want you guys to think about a little bit. So I'm going to go first, let you guys get your thoughts together, who's going to be in the Super Bowl. I'm going with representing the AFC. I'm going AFC first because it's boring. I think the Chiefs are going to be back in the Super Bowl this year. From the NFC, I'm going to go with the Seahawks in the Super Bowl this year.
The Seahawks.
I'm going with the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. And that's tough because you're right. The Packers, no one wants to play the Packers right now. But the Seahawks are always one of those teams that Russell Wilson, when he's on, he can hang toe-to-toe with Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes on their good days because Russell Wilson's just that good. And I like the defense of the Seahawks more than the Packers, which gives it that difference to me. And I don't know. There's also some aspect of the Packers just are one of those teams, man, where everything is looking good and it's not quite enough. And I'm calling for that to happen again this year. I think, man, it's going to be close. I'm talking we're probably going to see this in the NFC Championship game. I'm not predicting that. I'm just predicting the matchup, but I would say probably Packers-Seahawks in my mind. So that's my pick. Chiefs,
Wow.
I don't need to go into it too much. I like the Bills and the Steelers, but I think the Chiefs are just too dominant. It just feels like, the Chiefs are almost sleepwalking through these games lately. It feels like they're not even dominating, but that's still enough. So when the playoffs come, I think they go all out. I don't see anyone hanging with them, but that is my prediction. You're welcome, Thomas. I've inked your team
Wow, man.
in the Super Bowl.
We got a new 12th man over here. Welcome to the club.
No. But that's my prediction. Does anyone have theirs want to go?
Go for it, Austin.
All right. So I agree with you. I think the Chiefs make it. I was considering the Bills, but I still like Patrick Mahomes better than Josh Allen. Maybe it's just a stigma thing, but yeah. Like once they get going, and they're hard to stop. I think they win. They got home field advantage. I like that. And for the NFC, it's pretty boring, but the other number one seed, I'm going with Green Bay. I don't think anyone's beating them in the frozen tundra of Lambeau. I like the Seahawks, but the Packers and the Seahawks are like mirrors of each other because they kind of run the same way. But I think that Green Bay has 3 really good running backs. And they don't have to rely on Aaron Rodgers as much as the Seahawks are going to have to rely on Russell Wilson in Green Bay. The real team that I think that would have the competitive edge against them is the Saints, just because of Alvin Kamara. But I don't know. I think Green Bay has got it. I think Aaron Rodgers takes his MVP to the Super Bowl, and it's Packers Chiefs.
I like it. Yeah, the winning in Lambeau is going to be tough. It's going to be really, really tough for anyone.
Yeah.
They're going to need Chris Carson to step up if my prediction's going to come true. That's for sure. Who you got, Thomas?
Okay. In the AFC, I really, really want to say the Bills. Because I think they are a great team. Super well-rounded. Totally capable. But I think the one edge the Chiefs have, and it's the one reason I'm going to go with the Chiefs, is just the fact that the Chiefs won the Super Bowl last year. And their team is hardly changed at all. They've all got playoff experience. They've all overcome deficits. They've overcome large
deficits.
large deficits.
Yeah.
So they're well tuned for the playoffs, And yeah, I think they're kind of sleeping these last few games, but they'll turn it right back on. They'll wake up when it's playoff time. And when the Chiefs are awake and, have it all turned on, laser focused, they're going to the Super Bowl. NFC.
This is prediction, Thomas. Prediction.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way. For the sake of not saying the same thing as Parker. No, I'm just kidding.
Come on, no, be honest, man.
Yeah,
No,
tell
no.
us what you really think.
I honestly think Saints. And here's why. It'll come down to one game. If Packers and Saints, I think we'll go to the NFC Championship. That'll be one game played in Lambeau Field for the Saints. It's going to be cold. There's a good chance there's snow. Both teams are kind of built for that. But I think the big thing is Alvin Kamara. He's a better running back than Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
I think it's Saints Packers in Lambeau Field in the NFC Championship, and Alvin Kamara gets it done. I think it'll be a high scoring game, but I just think the Saints are a very well equipped playoff team. They have lots of options, lots of depth, lots of really creative plays that usually work best in the playoffs. And they've got people willing to call those plays and execute them. And same thing, I think their offense is tough enough to kind of rough up around that slightly softer, not that it's super soft anymore, but slightly softer Packers defense.
I like that. The only thing I see in that matchup, and this is just going to touch back on our slight running back topic, I do think Kamara is a better running back than almost everyone, and including Aaron Jones. But I like Aaron Jones's skill set in January and Lambeau slightly more in that matchup than Kamara's, because we know Kamara's a finesse. Typically, he does most of his damage through the air, whereas Aaron Jones is more the big-bodied bruiser sort of running back you kind of want a little bit when it's cold and you just need to kind of move the chains. So that's the only thing I would see there.
No,
I can see Aaron Jones actually looking superior on that day.
No, I agree. I think, yeah, Aaron Jones is definitely a better running back for that situation. I just think Kamara, he shines that game.
I like
He gets it done.
I like those picks. So, based on, we all unanimously pick the Chiefs. Just to kind of touch on our brains a little bit, like, would you guys be shocked out of your minds if the Steelers make it?
At this point, yeah. Man.
I would be freaking relieved. Because if the Seahawks did make it, they have a way better chance of beating the Steelers than the Chiefs. I would love it if we were all wrong. But
it definitely feels like, Thomas, out of us three, was kind of lower on Big Ben. It feels like your analysis has become truth in these past 2 weeks, where Big Ben's play has actually really dropped off. So
see, you guys were like, "What are you talking about, Thomas? What are you talking about?"
They were down against the Colts. Who brought him back? Big Ben.
It wasn't Big Ben. It was just the quarterback that was playing and executing the plays he was told to do.
You know what? Since my mind was just jogged, I do remember for a fact Big Ben won't be playing this week. He will not be in.
Oh.
So
that
I
gives
just
the Browns
remember
a good chance. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah,
If that's the case, then
I've forgotten that
Dolphins
headline.
might be out in that case then.
Yeah.
Might be. Anyway, and then the other question I wanted to add, since none of us really thought about any of the wild card teams making a shot, is there any of these wild cards that you guys could see making a run all the way to the Super Bowl realistically.
Wild card is an actual wild card.
No, a
Like
wild
a team
card
that did not win the division.
Okay.
Exactly.
For me, it's actually Miami.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like,
If they make it.
if they make it, it's gonna be on Fitzmagic. Like, it's gotta be magic.
Yeah, I don't think the Titans do.
See, that's the one I was gonna say. I could see the Titans being that team. Actually,
I don't
Well,
see it.
they're most likely gonna clinch their division, aren't they?
Well,
Well,
they're
I guess it
tied
comes
with
down to the Colts,
Yeah.
and
They
the
could
Colts
lose.
will win. So,
Well, they might not.
No, Jets are 2-0 over the past 2 weeks, so anything is possible in this universe.
Yeah. Yeah. If the Dolphins make it, I actually really like them to go far, to make it to the Super Bowl. Actually, more than I like the Colts, Titans, or Browns, or even Ravens. Honestly,
Yeah.
but that's just
What-
my 2 cents.
Buccaneers. I mean,
Oh yeah,
geez.
I can definitely see the Bucks.
I thought the Bucks seemed like the more obvious choice to go far. They could. They have to figure stuff out. If they can string, 3 games together, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll see about that.
We'll see.
Maybe now that the Bucks are probably going to go to the playoffs, Bruce Arians will be like, "All right, I guess I'll watch some tape."
Well, the fun thing about making these predictions when it's week 16, at least a lot of the playoff predictions, is when we say we'll see. Most of the time, over the seasons, like we'll see in a month, 2 months. We'll
Yeah.
see by the end of this week.
Yeah, who's in, who's not.
Who's in, who's out. We'll know really soon. So I'm really excited. I'm excited for next week's show where we know the playoff lineup
Oh man,
and we get to start talking about those games.
dude, the playoffs are going to be so fun to podcast about.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about the playoffs this year. I think there's a lot of really interesting teams. Like, we kind of all went maybe what you could think a little bit more chalk on our predictions because I think we all really see great teams like the Chiefs having a real shot. But at the same time, there's other good teams that it wouldn't blow my mind if the Chiefs or Packers or these top teams miss and another team gets in. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
I just can't decide. I can't decide what I'm more excited for: the playoffs or this time next year when Austin is wearing "I'm with Stupid."
I am so excited for you.
Hey, I just want to point out. By the way, I feel like almost every time we talk, one of you guys is like, "Thomas, you were right, Thomas. Your prediction, we thought you were wrong, but you were right." Guess what? Guess what?
It's only because I'm too boastful I'm too humble to point out every time my predictions are right. So
I'm always right, guys. I'm always right.
You know what? Just to let you know, Thomas, if you lose your bet with Austin, you're going to be 0-2 on your bets you've made on the show. I'm going to be drinking a root beer float 1 week from today.
We'll see about that, my friend.
I'm as confident as Parker about my bet.
Wow, that was some good trash talk right there. That was some banter. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you made it this far, we appreciate you and your willingness to listen to us and our banter. Please subscribe, leave a like or a comment. Do anything. It costs you nothing, but it gives us so much. Especially reviews. Ratings on podcast services or streaming services are absolutely game changers. So if you like us enough to leave a good review, we would love it. You guys are awesome. Have a good week.
Later.